So I wanted to carry a conversation that looks at your current situation, and let's have the first slide. And this is a population curve, lots of them available on the internet. And the key point to appreciate is that we live in a time of rapid change, obviously. We live in a time we call the Great Acceleration. Change is happening faster, the rate of change is increasing. So you're going to see changes in your lifetimes that are difficult for us to envision. The population of the world today is somewhere on the order of 7.3 billion, más o menos. We don't really know the number very well. But there's a lot of people sharing the planet. And the number of people sharing the planet might go up to around 10 billion, perhaps, before it stabilizes. But the challenge that you're going to face in your lifetime is going to be the care and feeding of all those people. The next slide sets the stage for the condition that we find ourselves in because of the changing atmospheric composition. There's more energy coming into the planet than is leaving it. The net effect is global warming. The vast majority of the increased temperature is in the water, it's in the oceans, it's not on the land, it's not in the air, it's in the ocean. So the joules of energy have gone into the oceans. It's the warmth of the oceans that will concern you. The next picture is the Keeling Curve next there. Charles Keeling, and that's the bane of our existence. That's the slowly inexorable rise of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's now around 402, 404 parts per million. Carbon dioxide up from around 280 before we start to monkey with the system. And as you all know, what we're doing is we're taking fossilized carbon out of the ground and we're putting it into the atmosphere. And that has there's a little bit of a sine curve on that. Why is the sine curve on it? Yes, it came, yeah, the seasons. So the red is the annual variation, and essentially the Earth is respiring. This is the northern hemisphere. These are going to Mauna Loa, in Hawaii, and during the summertime, the trees of the vegetation of the northern hemisphere absorbs carbon, and in the wintertime it releases it. So there's an annual sine curve on the rising CO2 curve. The next slide is the sea level curve. The data are a little bit noisy, but these are data that show the rising sea level, which is at some 3.4 millimeters per year. 3.4 millimeters per year might sound like not very much. That's 3.4 millimeters is not much. But I'm a geologist. So 3.4 millimeters a year is a big deal. And we've got an awful lot of our population in this country and in many other countries that are living within a meter or so of sea level. So the rise of sea level is an issue. And of course, sea level is rising because of the melting of ice that's on land, in part, but largely because of the thermal expansion of the water. So as the water in the ocean gets warmer, it expands, not much, but enough, and you get this sea level rise pattern. Let's see the next picture. So what I wanted to do was share with you a curious experience I had last week. I was in the United Arab Emirates. And the United Arab Emirates are located in the Persian Gulf. And I've got a prop here somewhere. The Persian Gulf, as you know, is over in sort of between Africa and Eurasia. The world keeps getting smaller and smaller. Here's the world. And this building is the tallest building in the world. It's called the Burj Khalifa. And it's an extraordinary construction. It's 850 odd meters tall, and it stands as a magnificent tower in the Emirate of Dubai, which is located in the United Arab Emirates. There are 7 emirates, sort of like there's 7 boroughs somewhere. The 7 emirates are in the southern part of the Persian Gulf, and they've created this unbelievable city in what used to be desert. And the city doesn't have a very large population, but has the busiest airport in the world. And they tell me over there that half of the world's population lives within a 5-hour airplane flight of Dubai, and Dubai is the largest tourist attractor on Earth. So for many of us, Dubai is like, on the other side of this thing. So it's like It's a long way away. From here, it's a couple of 8-hour airplane flights away practically, but for the people who live in India, the people who live in China, the people who live in Indonesia, and I've just covered more than half the population of the world, those people are attracted to Dubai, and it is an amazing global center. And this startling building is an incredible thing to see. My son was working over there. He took me up to not all the way to the top, but to one of those ledges on the way up. And the next slide shows the view from up there, just one of the views. And you gaze out at this amazing new city that's just sprouted in in your lifetimes. The city has largely grown up in your lifetimes. And we're looking towards Abu Dhabi. And there's a very posh hotel down in Abu Dhabi, and there's a Louvre museum in Abu Dhabi. You might have heard about. So there's a new museum that's a high vault of the French Museum in Paris, and it sits there in Abu Dhabi. So it's this sort of this miraculous new thing, and the world is increasingly urban. As you might know, people are moving to cities. In the United States, we're 80% urban, so 80% of people in the U.S. live in cities. In the world, it's about 50% of people live in cities, and more people are moving to cities every day because they're attracted by high-speed internet or something. And they're Starbucks or bright lights. So they're like the people of the world are moving towards these cities because of the lifestyle and the opportunities that are available in these cities. And it is sort of a wonderful thing to see. The people are a curious blend. The Emirati people are scarce. The population of Emiratis is less than 30%. 70% of the people are foreigners who are there working. And the foreigners are working in construction, the foreigners are working in various technical positions, but it's a curious country where the local people are few, and the people coming in from outside, from abroad, are many, including a lot of Americans who work over there. And it gives them a wonderful opportunity to sort of think about the changes that are going on. And if we look at the next picture, the changes that are going on are significant. And this is a picture of a famous computer some of you might recognize. And what I'm trying to advertise with this image is the bitten apple. And you'll see that right smack in the middle of Africa is an apple that's been bitten. And I make the metaphor with the Garden of Eden and the loss of innocence and the growing of understanding and the awareness associated with the bite of that apple that was made by that naked lady some time ago. And it gave the, if you will, the blessing or the curse of knowledge. And I've traveled a lot around the world, and this thing is in everybody's pocket. And they might not have a fancy one like this that can touch the internet, but they've all got cell phones. There are many countries in the world today where there's more cell phones than there are people. And so we're creating a situation where the people around the world are increasingly connected to global knowledge and global information. And this leads to a strange phenomenon, which I think we can see coming in the next slide. This phenomenon of FOMO, which I think is in your vernacular, not so much mine, but I imagine most of you sort of noodle on this word. And then the next picture will show my feeling of what it might look like if you were able to see FOMO. And so I've got a couple of images here that visualizing FOMO. The next picture, you can see it sort of, this is in the mountains outside of Dubai, and you can see that rising fog of FOMO. You see that sort of stuff out there? And the next picture shows it rising around that tower. These are a couple wonderful pictures taken by a newspaper reporter called Lutke, swiped off the internet. The next picture shows the tower in its beauty, but with this rising tide of FOMO. Rising tide of FOMO. The next picture shows that even here where we are, this is a picture taken from on the White Mountains, looking over towards Mount Moosilauke, and look at how much FOMO there is in New Hampshire. It's amazing. So I've been pondering this for a while, and what I'm convinced that one of the operating agents that you're going to be living with in your lives is the fact that around the entire globe, there's this sense that somewhere there's better stuff, or more stuff, or shinier stuff. And people are building fences, people will try to build walls, and families will throw their babies over the walls. Families will dig tunnels under the walls. Families will put themselves in rowboats to cross oceans to get to better opportunities for their children. And that's happening now in your lives, and it will continue. And so I've pondered what this might indicate for this poor sphere that we all live on, and it's the only sphere we've got. This is our dot, it's this beautiful orb, and the FOMO is coming. We did a demonstration of this. This is us, this is FOMO. So, it looks a little poor on the floor here, but we'll get some of the well, what does this mean? Let's look at the next picture. And there's this danger that as the tide rises and the FOMO engulfs you, that you might get destabilized. So there's a danger of destabilization associated with this desire for more stuff. And one of the things that we certainly hope about at Putney is that we help provide you stability. And you'll find that you can lean on your colleagues, you can lean on the people next to you, you can lean on your faculty, you can lean on the staff, and we provide you with a stabilizing, if you will, outrigger at a time of this rising foment of FOMO around the world. And one of the ways that we think about it here at school is of course nature. When we look at nature, whether it's a cow or a barn or a farm or an elm tree or just a view out the window, that we think that in nature lies some sense of stability and some sense of pleasure and sort of a soothing antidote to the incessant assaults upon you by social media and other tempting devices that are going to draw you to Dubai, they'll draw you to Shanghai, they'll draw you to Mumbai. But keep an eye out the window and remember your time at Putney. The next picture is just a way of underlining this, and at some level we're giving you huge problems. We're giving you ocean acidification, we're giving you sea level rise, we're giving you global climate changes, we're giving you challenges with drought, we're giving you challenges with flooding, we're giving you challenges with feeding 7.2 billion people plus more. And at the same time, we're giving you enormous tools. So many of you were born the same year that Wikipedia was invented, right? So it was about 2001, 2002. Was anybody born in 2001, 2002? Yeah. So that Wikipedia was invented right then. So you are, you're kindred with Wikipedia. Wikipedia is one of the most significant inventions of mankind. Wikipedia is one of the most significant inventions of mankind. And Wikipedia is a shared global database. It was anticipated by people like Teilhard de Chardin, who talked about the noosphere. So if you go back into the literature, you'll find that people envisioned Wikipedia. They envisioned the internet long before we knew how we would do it. But in your lifetimes, it has been done. So we live in a different world. When I was born, the world looked like that, like the blue dot down here, which has lost most of its FOMO, but it was a big world, and it was hard to get from one side to the other, much less know what was going on. But today, that's not true. Today, one click, and you're anywhere. And that one click to get you anywhere brings pleasure and pain. The pleasure is you get anywhere you want instantly. The pain is you see that somebody else has more stuff, right? Which is the danger of FOMO. So we hope that we can stabilize your FOMO with the recognition that you've got global interconnectivity. We will find solutions, you will find solutions to many of the world's challenges, because you're going to be interconnected with a giant population of bright people. You've got 7.2, 7.3 billion colleagues and co-conspirators in trying to make the world a better place. And let's have, I think, the last slide. This is the commander. So I've tried to follow my own advice. I'm rooted in nature. This is Commander Finn. He's my ally in Colorado, where I live. And he asked me to put up this quote from the Putney Master Plan, which says something about being persistent and moving towards a better future and being flexible about it as you go. That's taken right out of your master plan. It's on your webpage. And I just want to leave you with the idea that as you march through your time here at Putney, you're gaining skills, you're gaining a network